Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video, and I'm back in Nottingham. Actually, I say that, I live in Nottingham, so I never left in the first place. We've come to see a long abandoned railway tunnel, which was formerly part of the Great Central Railway. And it is just up from the old Mansfield Road Tunnel and Victoria Railway Station. It is Sherwood Rise Tunnel. You're back in Nottingham as well.
Hello, I am, yeah, I love it.
He really doesn't live in Nottingham. He's come all the way from sunny Hull. This is Andrew, ALW Exploration.
Hello.
He's got a channel, have a look. I'll put the text down below and in the description. So we're going to go find this tunnel. We're going to attempt to get inside. I've never been in it before. You've never been in it before, have you? No. Many of us have. I've seen photos, but numerous other images. But I think it's time to go and do this tunnel properly.
Let's do it.
Sherwood Rise Tunnel is situated on the former Great Central Railway's main line, just north of Nottingham. And you can see in this map at the bottom the former site of Nottingham Victoria Station. And just above that we've got the Holy Grail of Mansfield Road Tunnel. Unlikely we're ever going to get inside that one, but we'll never give up hope on that. If we zoom right in, you can see where the tunnel location is more precisely. You've got the former Carrington Railway Station, it's shut in the 1920s, just between both tunnels of Mansfield Road Tunnel and our Sherwood Rise Tunnel that we're going in today. So let's get ourselves down there, get ourselves inside Sherwood Rise Tunnel. Come on. So in the Nottingham end up, the roof is very, very white and wet. It's got these concrete breeze blocks on top of traditional breeze blocks, look. And there's a hole. So this isn't the actual end of the tunnel, there's another 20 odd feet. So if we climb through here, well, I'm not going to climb through, but I'm going to show you. We'll go through. And that is the end of our Sherwood Rise Tunnel, or in our case it's the beginning, because we're going to walk the other way and we're going to film it for you. And up there, that's the access in and out for maintenance purposes. So behind that wall you'd be heading off through Carrington Station. Carrington Station used to be on the other side of that wall before the line plummeted into Mansfield Road Tunnel, which is longer than this one, before then appearing at Nottingham Victoria Station. So taking a step back, look, there's some nice graffiti. We've got the one here from 1994. I was still at school then. I still had a couple of years left at school. And you can see the hole for the other access, look, right slap bang in the middle, some really, really tiny steps. And there's the roof, looking rather slimy indeed. So let's get ourselves further up this tunnel, see what we find, and get to the other portal. Immediately, look, there's a pile of rubble. This would have come from the other side of the tunnel portal, I imagine, because it looks like it's just been scooped in and left here. Because there's nothing vacant from where it potentially fell from. And the first recess on the right is looking in really good condition. Look at this root coming all the way down it. You can pick that up. Yeah, you can. That's so long. A little bit of furniture here, look, that someone must have dumped in here long before the tunnel was abandoned. I can't really make out what that says on there.
There's the old cable hangers. Look at this, how it's been carved out just here. The amount of soot. There's a little noticeable bit of sandstone coming through there where that's broken away and would have come down and crumbled amongst all this rubble. There's another one of your cable carriers here, look. This route here has come all the way from there, all the way from down there, or up there. It's actually embedded itself into the ground. And it's just got this huge, look, it runs and runs and runs. Decades of growth. That is unbelievable, look. All the way. That's how long that is. So what I really like is the cable carriers, when you get to the recesses, look, they go up, there's your recess, over, and back down again. So rather than being the traditional, you usually see them like 4 foot, 5 foot high, don't you? And they go over the recesses. But these stay close to the ground and go up and over. You can make out the little gaps of bricks. You can see the, the cement that holds the bricks together. Now that is just showing you where the soot isn't. The rest of it is thick with soot and it's covering up the entire ceiling. And they're just little bits that have broken away. And look how clean they are, because they would have been protected by the soot for many, many years. And eventually just little pockets of this soot has fallen down. And quite a lot of sandstone is evident now, look, as we go further down. You notice also the recesses are not numbered, so it's not been surveyed or measured for a very, very long time at least. There's no, you still get the highways agency or whoever come in even today in most tunnels, even the abandoned ones, and they come down and survey them and put a fresh bit of spray paint on, giving the distance and usually the recess number as well, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, the number them up and then put a distance to it.
And it's absolutely clagged up. It's clagged up galore on both sides. You also notice the ledge there, so the sandstone has been carved out all the way through this tunnel. And it's like a cut and cover tunnel, but it's not a cut and cover. And they've built the brick arch on top of the sandstone walls. And it is a similar design and build construction to the nearby Mansfield Road tunnel, which is just around about a quarter of a mile behind us. Now we believe this was some sort of signalling post brackets. Look at the old wrought iron brackets there, look, on both sides. Now I believe this line opened in 1899, so you've got to think these are well over 100 years old. There's a little bit more down here, look at the size of them bolts. They're ginormous. And there's a wooden little section actually into the sandstone here, look, which would suggest that probably this was mounted somehow just beside this recess just here. And again, there's the cable carriers, look, going up and over and down the other side. So there's an old little, look at this, that's been there, look, literally moved it, look, that's never moved since whenever it dropped there. You can still see the shards of iron. No idea what it is. I'm just going to see if we can, yeah, look, there's the soot coming off there, look. I'm going to put that back exactly where I found it. There we go. Look, never moved. Look at this for a blast from the past. This is... I'm not going to look at the date on it because I don't really want to move it because it probably hasn't moved for a long time. But Cherry Coat, that's at 1980s branding, look, because you can see it's got the original ring pull on top. That's remarkable because I think those ring pulls we've got today came in the late 80s. And these were the ones that were basically you lifted it up, pulled it off, and everyone was just chucking them on the floor. That's astounding. Just shining the torch on the ground, look, the former track bed. You see it's ballasted on the right, but it's not on the left. So there would have been a point where this line went down to single track, and it may have only been for a few months to less than a year, because when they was lifting it and the entire line was being closed and taken to pieces, they would have lifted one and then used the other track for track lifting trains and maintenance and wagons to take all the waste, rails, sleepers, spoil away, and then that too would eventually have been lifted. So you can just make out the ballast and maybe even sleeper indentations just there, look. And this side is pretty much smooth compared to this, where the ballast remains. Still got plenty of the cable runners, look. Again, nice little recess, cable runners going over the top, and a pitch black roof, and on the other side it's clear of anything really, just plain old soot covered sandstone. Now we're coming up to a really big recess on the left hand side. Let me get you there, there it is, look. I mean, that is ginormous, look at that. Now you go into tunnels quite often and you see these sections about as wide as this, which are just bricked up. They're like a black surface. I'll try and add a picture from a previous tunnel I've been into. And these black surfaces are where for some reason these have been bricked up, and I believe, well, they would have been for maintenance huts. There's a peculiar little hole been dug out there, whether it was from when animals have been trapped down here. Same on the other side, unsure what those holes were in for. So yeah, maintenance huts, they would have had all sorts of things stored in there for the workers. 5 o'clock in the morning, most of Nottingham's above and still snoring. I don't know, that song just came into my head because I fancied a sing song. And also, you got to imagine that right above us, Nottingham really is fast asleep, or most of it is anyway. You know, these houses, these factories probably just waking up, shops, they're all above us. Rows and rows of terraces and people with cars on their drives in the gardens. Unbeknown, this tunnel is below them. I can't believe that many people actually know that fact and what is actually right beneath their houses and their streets and their garden sheds. Roughly halfway we've got a Tango can, look, and it is lemon and lime. I can't remember when lemon and lime was produced, but again it must have been the mid-80s, the mid-1980s. I'm actually going to find that out. It's got the old ring pull again, look. Different design. I'm no can expert, but that is definitely pre-1990, I've got to say, although it has got a barcode on the side of this one, so I wonder if Tango was a little late in putting the old ring pulls on. If I find out when this flavour was produced, and then it will give us a better idea, won't it? All on the right hand side of the tunnel we've got these wooden pieces of what look like runners, and there's one on there, look, so that is suggesting that they actually were carried by these cable carriers as opposed to the standard, you know, you get the metal brackets with the wires going along it. With these being wood, they've put these wooden like shelves, these channels on top of the hangers, and then the cables have then been placed inside the wooden carriers all the way for the length of the tunnel. So when you get to the recesses, which is one coming up on the right, I imagine they went up either at an angle, something there, look. That looks some sort of signalling, or there's some sort of bracket stuck in the wall above this recess. It's very rusty. It's got some wheels in there as well, right in the middle, look. So that's like a pulley system, I believe, which must have been used for that over the top. And now they've gone to this increased height, look. So where the others have been going up, over and down, we've got to a point now, look, where the cable carriers and runners are actually at a different height. So I wonder what they've done, changed their mind halfway through the tunnel to change the height of these runners. You can see here, look, there's a great big chunk of sandstone missing. Whether that was done during construction, because it is sotted up, so it's not fell down in recent years. That's been absent for a long, long time. Another little bit of old wire on there as well. In fact, it's quite a bit, look, as we keep going along. I'm getting a bit too overly excited about these wooden cable carriers. Further down, a little further down, you got another one of those pulleys, look. Then the cable carriers turn into the more traditional iron or metal. And they're in blocks of frieze, look. So the wood has gone, and the more conventional metal is now apparent as we come along to this recess, which itself is extremely peculiar. Now, I'd say these bricks have been put in later years, or to actually just support these metal cable carriers, look, because the recess is extremely high, and the brick arch is up there. That's about 9 foot high, but this has been built into the sandstone, look, to continue the carrying of the cables. And there's another pulley system up there, look. So my guess is there's two different kinds of system of pulleys there, and there's a wooden bracket in that recess, and you can see the traditional height of the recess just there, and well, Lord knows what the hell that is. Look how deep this recess is. Let's get ourselves in here. Look at this. It's a long way in. If I put the death ray on, look, we can see the floor and see the other side of the tunnel, look. It's unbelievably deep. It's a long way back, isn't it? It'd be quite cosy in there, wouldn't it? We've gone back to the wooden cable carriers as well, as you may have just seen in a previous shot. And they go in up and over again, so you can see they've come from this point, look. Come across, and now they're back down to the previous level as they were from the portal on the southern side. Many more discarded cable carriers on the floor, or even bits of old cable running along there, all rusted. And there's one in situ there, look. Very, very sooty still at this stage. You can see a nice bit of sandstone just there. It's just poking out. That looks crystal clear, doesn't it? So we've been greeted by another huge recess, look. It looks bigger than the other one. I don't think it is. I think it's because the sandstone's showing itself off a little bit more than the other one. It's a lot more yellow. Couple of brackets over the top, one there, which probably helps support the cables. However, they do also run round inside. Around there, look. So yeah, it would have been another little storeroom, a workman's hut, like a tunnel version of a plate layer's hut you'd find on a railway on the outside. Must have been pretty cosy back in the day when they got their little stove burning, bit of a brew, bacon sandwich maybe. They didn't probably worry about the gases down here and stuff, did they, back then?
No, definitely not. No, it was a cup of tea and a cigarette, I think.
Yeah, and that. So we're getting towards the end now. Another cute little recess, look. It's got a few odds and sods in there. Bits of wood, bits of metal, nice bit of sandstone, lots of soot still, and some nice sandstone evident where the brickwork meets. On the ground there, look, there's some other odds and sods. That's some sort of tubing just there, look, in a metal box. And a piece of metal there. I mean, there could be all sorts down here. Bits of car. That looks like a bit of a bench or something just there. Framework from a little stool or something. Again, cable carriers going up and over. Up and over. So we found an old Nottingham Trent University newsletter for schools in sixth form, and it's called Classmate, and it's even dated July 1997. Unfortunately, it's gone, but it's something I'm just going to suggest it says on top of the world maybe. And you know, these people on here, they're going to be much older than they were. They're going to be in the late 40s now, you've got to imagine. That's remarkable, isn't it? So just before we get to the other portal, there's this crazy deep hole. Now at first I thought it was something to do with a catchment pit, but it's not aligned in the centre. It's sort of skewed to the right slightly as you're looking back towards Nottingham. It's been dug out, look, there's all the spoil from inside there. So what was the purpose of this? Because a lot of that sand in there looks quite dry. And even on here, it doesn't look like it's been there. I mean, it probably was done 20 odd years ago when someone was last in here. Got a really good look Monster Munch packet there, where if you save up enough bags, you can actually collect enough tokens to earn yourself a furry monster. Who don't want a furry monster in their life? I'm not saying anything else more than that. Right, can you make that out? Hunks of prawn flavour corn snack. Best before 17th of January 1987. And the weight of the bag is 26.5 grams. We'll have to see what they weigh now. So we're now coming up to the mound. So we've got one last recess on the left before we've come to the more northern ended portal and the infill. So when we get out and we show you the other side, you'll see the track bed level is actually, it's as deep as this. So the track bed and the cutting has also been filled in to the same height as this. We'll have a little run up there and have a look at the top of the tunnel, just so you can see what condition it's in and how remarkably dry this tunnel is and great condition it's in. So I've now made it to the top of the mound. I can see, I can see where it's been filled in at the top. We're no longer at track bed level on the inside or the outside. I'll come and get the camera and I'll bring you up and you can have a look. So here's the view from the top. You can see how it's all been compacted down. And down there, look, you wouldn't like to fall down there, would you? All manner of stuff's going to be under here, isn't it? Same on that side, looking down. There's a little bottle over there, I don't know how old that is, I might have a look at that in a minute. Let's get ourselves to the portal. I'm just getting my own back, watching you walk up.
Are you filming me?
Yeah, of course I am.
Hi viewers.
This is the bit where we hope he doesn't fall, but it'd be funny if he did.
Yeah, this is it. So I'm actually touching the tunnel roof now. It kind of goes to show the amount of backfill they've pushed in just to block the tunnel portal off.
Yeah, there's going to be all manner of stuff under here.
Yeah.
All manner. So the little tub or jar I saw was an old Quality Street tub. Hang on, try and light that up better. Turn it over. October 1999 is the use by date on that. Oh, there he goes. Now the points of that now, you can pretty much stand up. I found an old Pepsi can. That is dated March 1991. And over there, that's an old fire extinguisher, isn't it? Just there. And down there you can just make out a huge lorry or tractor tyre down there, look. It is in the early hours, so we're pretty tired, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can't get away with a joke. Can't get away with a joke at this time of day. And this is as far as it goes, look. So we've got this iron or steel grid on top of a bricked up portal. And that's about it. So, I'm going to make my way back out again and I'll see you on the other side. I look like some sort of mad doctor pulling this face, don't I, with this light. I assure you I'm not. I'm a lovely guy. So we've got ourselves out, bit grubby, bit sweaty, and it's daytime now. It was dark when we went in. Now I've come round to show you what we was just looking at. You know the last shot I showed you on the inside, and you've got the metal grate. That's there, look. That's the metal grate we was just looking at on the inside. Here's the coping stones on top, look, all the way along, and the roof of the tunnel, and there's a great big rock face up there covered in ivy and trees. Look at that. So I was just saying to you, so as you can see the track bed is filled in exactly the same as it was on the other side. And if anything, it actually goes much higher. If I walk up to here, you can see the route of the line as it goes away in that direction. And I'm actually now above the roof of the tunnel, look. So outside, the infill, the cut-in has been infilled double the amount to what it is inside the tunnel itself. Right, so we're going to leave it there. So we've bitten through the abyss underneath Nottingham, one of the lost tunnels of Nottingham. It's just been, you know, it's just been buried for absolutely decades since closure. It's not one of the easier ones to find or even walk through, such as Mapley, for example, and many of the others around the UK. So to get in and do it, you know, it could be a long, long time before an opportunity of this, you know, comes along again. And we've got to get really close on this. Look, it's really cosy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cosy. Yeah.
I should have bought my longer stick with me. But yeah, that's it. This is Andrew. Subscribe to his channel. It's really, really good.
Thank you very much.
It's even better now I'm on it.
Well, yeah.
That's a joke. No, he's got some really good stuff, and he doesn't just do the UK, he goes to Germany and stuff as well, and looks at all manner of things in
Military
Germany.
and industrial history.
Yes.
So yeah, please check it out.
Okay. Like, subscribe, comment below. From Sherwood Rise Tunnel and us, it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Bye-bye.